We interrupt your regularly scheduled episode of TCR on Air to bring an important announcement from the head writers from TCR's comic branch, CodeRed Comics. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Spooky Bro. My name is Leaf, also known as Mx Codered, and I'm here with...
Incarone, also known as Ryan.
We're here to tell you guys all about CodeRed Comics, as Connor mentioned. If you didn't know already, TCR does a lot more than just podcasts. We actually have gaming videos coming out with our CodeRed Arcade branch, but longer than anything else, we've actually been making comics this whole time, and we have an entire one out right now.
The first book is titled Warhead, which you can read all 130 pages for free on the TCR website, link in the description. Written by Leaf with my assistance, the superior one, and with art done by TBD, also known as Brody, Tangerine, also known as Aaron, and Arma, also known as Ren.
And me, also known as me. But today we actually just wanted to tell you a bit more about the universe we're building, since Warhead was actually just the first book out of...
0. There are no more, and there never will be anymore.
Out of 30! So Ryan and I spent most of the summer of 2020 fleshing out this original superhero universe of mine that I've had for years, and it is called the Sparkverse, and it's finally coming. We're making this a thing. So Book 1 Warhead sets the scene of our world in a futuristic, post-apocalyptic dystopian world.
Unlike other big comic universes that take place in the relative present, ours is in the future in a different environment where humans live on Mars. There's an entire Terran Empire, which includes both Mars and Earth, though Earth in the future is now known as Terra Prima by our characters. And it's divided by radioactive canyons filled with mutants and technologically thriving sky cities. Wow!
Yeah, our world takes place 200 years from modern day. And after a massive nuclear fallout, I wonder where those canyons came from, the people of this world are re-unlocking old ancient powers known as sparks.
Well, gee golly, I sure wonder why it's called the Sparkverse.
I don't know. Want to take a guess?
Well, you see, it's actually pretty funny because in our universe, the powers are actually called sparks, and
You're so hilarious. You're so hilarious. Okay, moving on.
Something Leaf and I have tried to focus on in the Sparkverse is keeping it grounded, keeping the powers more realistic. And even though this world is crazy and wacky and there's all sorts of monsters and powers and all that stuff, there's a stronger focus on the horrible things that must happen for one to be willing to risk their life on daily and what it truly means to be a selfless hero.
Yeah. And there's a good bit of that, actually a pretty heavy focus on that in book 1, but so much more to come. So the Sparkverse, as I mentioned, is looking at 30 books by the end of the long line, and we have it split into 6 main phases. So phase 1 is obviously the current one, the Sentinel Saga, and the first 6 books will be setting up our heroes, which you can probably guess are called the Sentinels.
We're aiming to have the Sentinels book released around the end of 2022, but for now, let's talk about the real reason that we're here.
Yes. So book 1 Warhead concluded back in May of 2021, and ever since then the comic team, which is actually expanding, has been hard at work to develop book 2 of the Sentinel Saga, titled...
Gold Mush.
No.
Okay, I lied. It's actually Goldrush, which picks up not long after Warhead, and it will explore more of the world of the Sparkverse and set up more events to come, because we have quite a bit of stuff planned.
So much of it. And actually a lot of it will come from our new protagonist, Noelle Cross. So she's our hero, and she's going to be met with a race against destiny, as she chooses to forge her own path after her superhero father's mysterious passing. We can promise that the quality has definitely been up for Warhead, with more dynamic and exciting action, probably better art overall, and a more exciting lighthearted tone, because the script for Goldrush was once again written by me, but also with TBD, also known as Brody. A lot of his comedic expertise really shines in this one, and helped to shape the story's direction, actually. About a year ago, he and I would be getting to calls to brainstorm the story, and now we're ready to announce the release of Act 1.
Retrograde, which will be releasing this weekend. But if you subscribe to the TCR Patreon, link in the description, you can read it now, and you'll also get behind-the-scenes sneak peeks and more. Ooh.
Not only that, your donations will eventually help us get even better art equipment, so book 3 and beyond will look even more professional. So on behalf of the entire comic team, we really hope you'll check out the official release of Goldrush, and if you haven't already, make sure to go read Warhead first, because this is like a comic version of the MCU. Everything's connected here.
Thanks, guys. Glad they're gone. Like, who even reads comics?
I do, jerk.